Thank you very much. We'll now move to section 15, which is the board superintendent comments and meeting evaluation. This is the opportunity in which you as directors have an opportunity to voice comments about things which occurred in the meeting, anything that comment regarding the process of the meeting, as well as the items within the meeting, and please use your time as such. Is there anyone who wishes to go first during this particular comment section? Okay, we started here before. We'll start on this side.
Way to go.
So we'll start with student rep Jackson.
I would just like to thank all of the people who came out for the public comment section. I know that their opinions are valuable to us as you as a board.
Yeah, tonight was, you can't help but be moved by some of the things that were shared tonight and the personal stories and the impact. And it, leading up to the board meeting, it really caused me to reflect on, who was that significant adult outside of my life when I was of that age. And it certainly was a coach. I had, I look back and I, part of the work I'm in is in youth development, and one of the things I recognize is that a significant adult in a young person's life can change the trajectory forever. And it's about what's taught off the field as much as what's taught between the lines or on the course or what have you. And so I appreciate the, courage for people's willingness to share, as well as the depth of their stories, because it was very moving and impressive. I can tell you also that I've been the benefit of great coaches as a parent, and whether it was a golf coach or a swim coach or a soccer coach, that their names are mentioned at the dinner table, whether they know it or not, and because they play a significant role in that. And so regardless of the decision, I don't want to ever diminish the impact of Mr. Bertrand and what he has done thus far in his coaching career, because you saw that impact tonight, and that's really important, and that lives on. That lives on because that's already happened. I also want to acknowledge, though, the right to privacy. I want to acknowledge the right to bargaining and what is incorporated in the right to bargaining, and in those agreements, and recognize that it is an employer-employee relationship that we're talking about, and that the public may not fully ever know some of the decisions and why they're made the way they are. And I grow a little concerned when I hear words like retaliation and bullying and personal or political agendas, because I think that could be somewhat careless and reckless. And I'm not dismissing that this is not emotionally charged, but what I am saying is that absent of all the facts, those are pretty strong words to use, and I would just really caution the use of such language. But I want to again thank the public for stepping forward. I want to thank the students, the alumni, those people who wrote from out of state. It was very, very powerful.
Thank you very much, Director Winter. We'll start at this end. I won't say superintendent. I'll say student rep, please.
I would also like to say that I'm so pleased that so many people came out and spoke and shared their opinions with the board today. We value all their opinions so highly, and we appreciate them coming out and sharing their stories with us in the way they did. I would also like to say on the Highly Capable program, just growing up and living the experience of being in the Highly Capable program, I know how vital it is to these kids to find a place where they can finally thrive, where they can finally challenge themselves in the way that they need to grow and learn, and just find that peer group where they can just function as a student. And I would want to place emphasis that this needs to be continued to be pushed forward, to continually have support for these programs, because without it, these kids just aren't going to be able to function at their highest level and to achieve the rigor which we want students in the Everett School District to achieve. So I would just like to say that I appreciate all of the effort used to push that program forward.
I'm sorry,
Director
Director
Minster.
Lassane, I have quite a little list here. First, I would like to thank the PTAs both at Penny Creek and at Jefferson for their generous donation of Chromebooks for the enrichment for the students, and because I've heard from many a teacher and many a student how very powerful those are for the learning and getting ready for the SBAC. And speaking of the SBAC, I would really like to thank the leadership that we have with Catherine Matthews, and she is going to be presenting, if I can promote this, at the Everett School PTA Council next Wednesday, parent forums about the SBAC. She's also going to be at Gateway, has been invited there to talk to parents about the SBAC and just the fact that she might be running a little thin for a while. But there are a lot of questions about this big new change in this test that's coming our way. And then I am also thankful for all of the people that came out today to speak and to share their stories with us. Professionally, I am having this issue at my work, and as a manager, I am having to investigate somebody, and I have to protect that person's privacy. And I have a lot of questions, and there are a lot of rumors going around my organization. I cannot say anything. The other managers cannot say anything because that person's privacy needs to be protected just like every other staff person's privacy needs to be protected. And it is causing a lot of pain at my organization. And as a board member, though, I am not allowed to influence the hiring or firing of discipline of staff. And I appreciate the stories, and I believe we have amazing teachers. I believe we have amazing coaches and amazing staff, but that is not my role. My role is to listen and to respond and to counsel and advise the superintendent, but it's not to do the other things. So thank you all so much. And then I would like to close because community college, I'm moving this way. We have a great partnership with Everett Community College. And there's a speech this week in Tennessee about community college and how it should be free. And I very much benefited from community college. And I have a bachelor's degree, but then decided to go back to pharmacy school. And that's a whole lot of science that I didn't get with my bachelor's in psychology. And I am very thankful to Green River, Shoreline, and Bellevue because I went to whatever school had the class I needed so I could get into the UW at the time I wanted to get in. And the price of that education allowed me to be able to be a young bride and go to school and work full time. And I am forever thankful for a community college education that I have received and that I believe a lot of our students do receive upon graduation, and that we give them every skill to go to university or community college. And I thank the staff for all of those efforts.
Director Mason.
Well, this is certainly a different meeting from any that I've been to tonight. And I think the best part was it was a full house. I wish it were that way more often and for other reasons. Certainly, I think that Director Wenta summarized very well how many of us are feeling about this. It is clear that Coach Bertrand is a very dedicated coach, and he has impacted a lot of lives in extremely positive ways. And it was wonderful to hear those stories tonight. So I really appreciate everyone who took the time to come and to stand up and to speak, which is not always an easy thing. That lectern can be a little intimidating at times. I also wanted to say thanks to Tony and his team for the highly capable program overview. I think that taking inventory, as it were, for now is a great start to finding more solutions to engage our students and provide more rigor to everyone, to the students that are on the cusp of becoming highly capable students and moving them in that direction, and those that perhaps are already there and challenging them even more, because those are the ones that are going to lead the charge here and bring every student along with them. And then lastly, I just want to say I got to attend the View Ridge Elementary Saucer this morning. That is my home school, and it was just a really wonderful experience and a great way to kick off, as we like to say, saucer season. Great presentation, and really admire the dedication of all that work there and what they're doing for the students and parents. Thank you.
Director Andrews.
I also accompanied Caroline, well, I guess we were there together, to the first State of the School review this morning. And it's a great way to start your morning because you certainly come out of there energized and optimistic about knowing that what we decide at this level is making it down to the classroom. I think we definitely heard the impact of the Chromebooks in the classroom, and I have heard nothing but praise for Chromebooks. So I think that's an area we need to continue to pursue, that technology, that one-on-one technology. Also, I appreciated the highly capable presentation. Both of my youngest sons went through the highly capable program, and it was very good for them. It was challenged. So I do have a personal experience there. But I think the other thing I draw from that is these children are, and older children as they get into high school, they are definitely bright and capable, but they are also just ordinary kids. And I think sometimes when we put that label on them, it can affect the way they're treated in school and people's perceptions of them. So I know I never really cared for the label or the term highly capable, but I understand now that it's state driven. So I'm more accepting of it. But it is definitely the rigor in those classes and the ability for students to operate at a higher level, usually as a group, especially at the elementary level, is really just a wonderful thing. And I'm so glad that our district is able to offer as many classes as we do. And it's going to be really interesting to see how the classes at Whittier evolve. Maybe we can get an update on that sometime. And lastly, it was wonderful to see this room filled tonight. I know when we built this building, we envisioned having large audiences. So the remarks we heard were definitely courageous and heartfelt, and even the criticisms had some meaning and some, recognition, or helped me realize what people are thinking. And it is, I think Ted very well articulated the role of the board in this situation. But I do think another positive side of it was having people gather here tonight, being able to share and see this beautiful facility, and also just appreciate the fact that people came and were willing to speak to us, because I know that is not an easy thing to do.
Well, I would like to thank Ms. Ballback for her highly capable programs discussion. She did an outstanding job of presenting the program here. My hope is that all of our students within Everett Public Schools can enter into the highly capable program, because that's what our goal is, to make everyone reach their highest potential and be highly capable for whatever they would like to do further on in life. I know it may not be the best fit because, kids still want to be kids, and not every kid achieves to the same level. But my hope is that we at least prepare them for those AP classes in high school, prepare them to take more rigorous science classes and math classes in middle school, so that they are able to take those AP classes in high school, and give them what they need to be very creative and be able to collaborate, give them all the skills in the 21st century. And I see we're doing that. And that's a wonderful thing. My, looking at it, my thoughts are we're going to be in a position where we're going to need more teachers and more spaces because we're pushing that. And that's a good thing. That's a very good thing that we're going to be in that position, that we may need more space for these children to go into the classrooms. But with that means that as we increase rigor, we're going to be taking away the less rigorous classes, so to speak. So everybody will be in those classes. So that's my hope. I know that's far-fetched view, but it is a goal. It is a goal to ensure that every kid that walks across the stage at that graduation is able to be as highly capable for whatever endeavor they have to go into or they choose to go into once they walk across that stage and enter into the world of adulthood and adult citizenry. So that is very good. Elementary boundaries, I thank you very much for giving us a presentation on that, Mr. Gutton. We do have a big problem in the South End, and that's not going to go away. It's going to only get worse. And it is something that we have to look forward to because we put a lot of impact on the teachers in the South End schools when they have classes that are so large and they have to teach. We put a lot of impact on the students too, having to go to schools that are overcrowded, and they end up having 10 lunch periods, and they have lunch at 10 o'clock in the morning. That's difficult for a child, and I think we're going to get to where we can relieve some of that overcrowdedness, and I think that's a good thing. And I want to also thank all of the students and the parents and the members of the community that came out in support of Coach Bertrand. As I mentioned before, teachers here at Everett Public Schools, administrators here, custodians, staff members, librarians, all have an impact on student learning, all have an impact on motivating students and giving them that increased drive to do whatever they desire to do once they graduate. And my hope is that no child will leave school without having felt that someone cared for them and there was a mentor there that stepped up and watched out for them and gave them what they needed to get over that barrel. I am very thankful that we had a lot of personal stories here, and I listened to them, we all listened to them, and we appreciate the impact our staff has made on their lives. But one thing that I can truly say, we never take any action lightly, and nor does any administrator take any action very lightly. We consider the ramifications on students, on student learning, on impacts to the staff. Every action is taken considers those things. And if it doesn't, then I want to make sure that it doesn't happen again. So what I also heard too, and which is very unsettling, is that we have an enormous amount of growth in students still in the South End. And for someone to say, we'll take it up at a bond election, that's not correct. You look at what's necessary for students here in the area. You don't say, well, we won't vote for a bond because of this incident. You have to weigh everything. And that's unsettling for me because you consider every act and you consider what impact it's going to take on the students as a whole. As a whole, our students in the South End need relief. And there is no reason why one set of students has to be given a separate education than other students. That is unfair. But I do appreciate everything. My children had wonderful teachers and wonderful coaches at Cascade High School, and they are still talking about them today. So that tells you a lot right there. And my high school, my oldest child is 30 years old. And she still talks about the teachers that she had at Cascade High School and what impact they made on her life. So I appreciate that. I appreciate that wholeheartedly.